Coach, congrats, number one. Can you take a breath and enjoy this one a little bit?
Well, so proud of the guys. Thank the Lord. We've had a really emotional couple days. I thought the start was just incredible. Lord bless us definitely with that first shot going in from Caleb Shaw. And Nana brought some great intensity to start the game. And it's such a good team. They're so explosive, the press, the switching defense. And, our guys made a lot of really good individual plays. They made a lot of really good decisions. They were patient. And they played for 40 minutes. And it was just really fun to watch and be part of it.
That's what jumps out right away against a team that keeps up full court pressure against you all game like that, and then has that unique matchup zone that creates a lot of turnovers against teams who over dribble. You only have 11 turnovers. Nobody makes more than 2 on your team. How did you get that through them over the last couple of days, and how did they meet the moment like that?
We didn't have a lot of time to prep. Really one hard practice day, that was it. And obviously you can't simulate the pressure that they're going to give you for 40 minutes. And so, our guys did a really good job. Brian and Makai were really poised. Nan was really poised behind the ball. Jaden, again, did a really good job against the press. Caleb Shaw attacked the rim a couple times. So it was really a group effort. Everybody had a piece of this. I think, we just talked about Dennis Evans. I know you guys probably been talking about him, but what a great story. He hasn't played much, and he works out. He works hard in practice. He wanted the opportunity. He was ready, when the opportunity came, and he was just spectacular on the defensive end. You could count the blocks he had, but then how many did they miss because maybe they were looking at him or looking for him. So so fun and so happy for Dennis Evans to have such a great game.
And Coach Brian Moore Jr., handling the ball quite a bit. We talked about nobody had more than the 2 turnovers, but really looked like he kind of got into the old Brian Moore Jr. game of downhill, looking for his shot with that fast pace early. And then he was able to kind of reel it back a little bit, but still play aggressively in the second half.
Yeah, he was really good. Made great decisions with the ball. I loved his patience and his poise. 4 assists, 1 turnovers. He didn't just go when there wasn't a hole or wasn't an open lane, but he waited, and if it wasn't there, he drove and he passed. And so just did a really good job with the ball. And I'd add Makai, right there with him. Makai took good shots. He was patient. Some of his, one-on-ones were late in the clock and not early. Those 2 guys were dynamic tonight together.
It seems so important off the top of the game that guys like Brian, Nana Osunani were aggressive from, when you're playing a top 25 team on national television in this kind of environment. It seemed like your guys were taking the game to them.
Yeah, the 22 offensive rebounds, obviously that wasn't very good. But credit our guys. They battled. Some of those rebounds. They just worked hard and got their hands on it and grabbed it. But our guys thought they really contested, and they contested without fouling, which was a big thing. And really happy again for them. They've been working hard. They've been staying together. Moments like this, you don't get very often to get a ranked team in your own building. And, this is a day that they'll remember.
Coach, you hang your hat on defense. You have for 5 seasons. They come in shooting 53% from the floor, and you held them to 36.2. I mean, Falslev's a dynamic player. He's going to get his. Collins started out strong, but your defense really clamped those guys and really made it difficult for them.
Yeah, it was a blessing. They had some shots. They missed them. I thought our guys, really executed the game plan. Again, they tried to make it as hard as possible. Again, those are, 2 of the best players, or if not 2 of the best playing players in the league right now, how they've been playing. And, thankfully they missed some of those shots. And again, I think, Dennis's presence inside definitely helps. It's a safety for some of our guys on the perimeter that if they miss an action or if they get beat a little bit, that they have a lot of rim protection behind them.
What do you in this kind of high pressure environment with this game? What did you think about the fortitude? Because you never got away from them. They just kept coming. Every time you looked up, it was 4, 6. Even when you got it to 10, it would be right back.
Yeah, I mean they're too good of a team, and they've won too many games. It goes down to the wire until that last that last second. goes off. They had that late run and cut it to 5. They just score so fast, and they can turn you over so fast. And so it's a game you definitely can't relax. You got to be strong and take care of the ball and, defend every possession.
Coach, you get the victory in this one. You changed some things around with the rotations. Some of it was guys maybe weren't playing great, so you gave other guys minutes. But you went to Evans first. That paid off in this game. Are you still kind of figuring these guys out as we go, or are you kind of getting locked in on starters and rotations?
Yeah, obviously I like how it went tonight. Guys really responded. I thought they played well, in the roles that they were in. And, I thought we had a really good togetherness out there. Will brings a lot of experience, and he gives you versatility. He can play some 4, some 5. I thought he was good in his minutes. At the 4, he didn't turn it over. Was able to get the ball moving where it was supposed to. Obviously Dennis can change our team significantly. If he can impact games like he did tonight. Different matchups, different games might call for different lineups, but tonight, obviously very pleased with Dennis and how our bench rotation went.
You mentioned it earlier about how it's hard to get these type of games in this building over the years. Non-conference, you couldn't secure these types of games outside of the San Diego State one. And what did that scene kind of when you take in? I remember last time you and Bryson were out there kind of soaking it up on on that one. And again today you have the court storming from the Havocs and
yeah. You guys love GCU. We love GCU. Wins like this aren't just for our team. They're for obviously the Havocs, for everyone in the building, everyone who supports GCU, all of our students everywhere. These you don't win games without a whole village of people that are all pulling the same direction, and we have that here. And so this is a win for everybody, to take home with. It's super fun to see the students out there and, enjoying the win just as much as our guys are.
Hey, Coach, a lot of folks driving home listening to this. Love it. So exciting for everybody, all of Lopes Nation. Not even going to ask you about the next game because nobody cares right now. But we'll see you Wednesday. Congrats, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks,
incredible
Lopes fans.
job by the staff.
That's the head coach, Bryce Drew. And